Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to unlock insights from different sources, making complex stuff clear, memorable, and today, well, it really feels like we're on an intellectual treasure hunt. We're diving into Gyan Bharatam. This is a huge, groundbreaking initiative from the government of India. We've got official overviews, historical speeches, quite a mix to pull from to really get the core wisdom out. So our mission, our goal for this deep dive is to properly understand the vision behind Gyan Bharatam, to really grasp its historical weight, and see how it connects India's incredibly rich past with a tech-driven future. I mean, just think, what if answers to some of today's biggest questions are just sitting there, written on scrolls from centuries back, waiting? Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. Gyan Bharatam. It sounds like it's way more than just a project. People are calling it a cultural reawakening, even. Our sources frame it as a resurgence, a declaration of India's culture, its literature, its consciousness.
That's right. And what's really striking, I think, is the sheer scale, the ambition, the core objective. It's monumental. They want to digitize and make accessible thousands, literally thousands of generations of thought, wisdom, research from India's great sages, teachers, scholars, the ancient knowledge traditions, the scientific heritage. It's a massive effort to take this huge kind of scattered reservoir of knowledge and turn it into something navigable, an ocean, really.
Right. Okay. So if I'm getting this right, this isn't just for India then. The aim seems bigger.
Yeah.
Like bringing this knowledge out could actually benefit everyone, the whole world. Globalizing India's contribution.
Absolutely. That's a key part of the vision. It definitely extends far beyond national borders. It's really about seeing this knowledge as a shared human inheritance, something that can inform global discussions, maybe even scientific discovery, cultural understanding.
Yeah. That leads to something interesting, the actual physical connection. When I think about seeing an ancient manuscript, it feels like. Yeah. Like proper time travel. What is it about those physical things, those artifacts, that give such a powerful link to the past? I mean, we type, we delete, we print thousands of copies so easily now. But imagine centuries ago. No delete key, no printers. Our ancestors, they just had their minds, their intellects, meticulously crafting every single letter. That dedication. It's almost hard to imagine today.
It's a totally different mindset, isn't it? Different approach. And you see that dedication in the sheer numbers. India, it's quite astonishing actually, has the world's largest collection of manuscripts, estimated near 1 crore. That's 10 million manuscripts.
10 million, wow.
Yeah. And that's after millions more were, sadly lost to history or destroyed over time. So the ones that survived, they're a real testament to this deep, widespread devotion to knowledge, to what they called patan, the tradition of study and teaching. And you also have to understand how incredibly fragile these things are, these historical documents. Many were made from things like bhojapatra, that's birch bark, or tad patra, palm leaves.
Right.
Others were etched onto copper plates, which are always fighting corrosion. But our ancestors, they treated these words almost like they were divine. With huge respect, they made sure they were preserved generation after generation. It wasn't just about saving text. It showed this immense reverence for knowledge itself, a real concern for the future, and I think a sense of national duty to protect this heritage.
So thinking about that, this incredible commitment to keeping knowledge safe, what does that tell us about the core values of that civilization? What does that deep respect for knowledge reveal about ancient Indian society, fundamentally?
Well, it reveals a civilization that was deeply rooted in intellectual pursuits, definitely, and long-term thinking, a profound sense of shared cultural responsibility. It wasn't just about preserving stories, you see. It was about safeguarding wisdom, accumulated wisdom. Knowledge wasn't a commodity, it was like a sacred trust. And this deep respect is what allowed India's knowledge tradition to thrive. It was sustained by essentially 4 key pillars: preservation, innovation, addition, and adaptation. It was never static.
Okay, 4 pillars. Let's break those down.
Right. So first, preservation. Think of the Vedas. They're the most ancient texts, the foundation of Indian culture. And what's truly amazing is how they were passed down orally through Shruti for thousands of years with remarkable authenticity, incredible accuracy, without errors. Imagine the discipline that took.
Orally, wow, that's hard to comprehend.
It really is. Then, the second pillar, innovation. India saw continuous progress in fields like Ayurveda, the medical system, Vastu Shastra, architecture and harmony, Jyotish, which covers astronomy and astrology, metallurgy too, advanced metal techniques. Each generation didn't just copy, they built upon previous knowledge, scientifically advanced it. We have texts like the Surya Siddhanta, an astronomical text with stunningly accurate calculations for planets, even Earth's circumference.
Really, back then?
Yes, and Varahamihira's Samhita, covering everything from weather prediction to architecture, examples of constant intellectual growth. Then Pillar 3, addition. This shows that each generation didn't just keep the old stuff safe, they added new insights. Take the original Valmiki Ramayana.
Okay, so putting that all together, this isn't just some dusty old record collection. It's the living, dynamic, evolving system of knowledge, constantly refined over millennia.
Yeah.
It speaks to real intellectual energy. So we got this massive number, 10 million manuscripts. But what's actually in them? Let's get into the variety, the depth of the content itself.
Right. The diversity is incredible. These manuscripts exist in about 80 different languages. We're talking Sanskrit, Prakrit, Assamese, Bengali, Kannada, Kashmiri, Konkani, Mathili, Malayalam, Marathi.
Yeah.
So many more. It's a linguistic ocean, really, a kind of unity and diversity through language.
90 languages, wow.
Content, it's just astonishingly varied, often quite surprising. For instance, the Gilgit manuscript gives an authentic history of Kashmir. You've got Kautilya's Arthashastra, full of deep insights into ancient politics and economics, ideas still discussed in business schools today.
No kidding.
Yeah. Then there's ancient Jain wisdom in Acharya Bhadrabahu's Kalpa Sutra, Lord Buddha's teachings in the Sarnath manuscript. And for art and emotion, texts like Ras Manjari and Geet Gurvin capture bhakti, aesthetics, literature beautifully. These manuscripts, you could say, they hold the footprints of humanity's development journey. Philosophy, science, medicine, metaphysics, art, astronomy, architecture. It's all a real aha moment for you. Think about zero, the foundation of all modern science, maths, computers, binary. It relies on zero. And that discovery, it happened in India. The Bakshali manuscript actually preserves ancient uses and mathematical formulas involving zero, centuries before it was common elsewhere.
That's fundamental.
Absolutely. And in medicine, Yarshomitra's Bauer manuscript shows medical science from centuries ago. The Charak Samhita and Sushrut Samhita manuscripts, they've kept Ayurvedic knowledge safe right up to today. There's also complex geometry in the Sulba Sutra, traditional farming practices in Krishi Parashar, deep insights into human emotions from the Natya Shastra.
It really drives home how relevant they still are. Can you give maybe one or two more striking examples of how these old records offer real value today? Not just history, but practical stuff, maybe even globally. It sounds like a living blueprint.
Exactly that, a living blueprint. I mean, think about it. From the zero that powers, well, everything digital, to potentially sustainable farming techniques and texts like Krishi Parashar that could inform modern agriculture facing climate change, to medical principles in Ayurveda that are increasingly relevant in holistic health discussions worldwide. These aren't just Indian treasures, they're part of humanity's shared knowledge base. You know, many countries cherish maybe one single manuscript as a national treasure. India has literally millions of such treasures. That scale itself is, well, it's a source of huge pride, but also huge global potential.
And it's good to hear about the efforts to get stolen artifacts back.
Yeah.
You mentioned hundreds of idols returning. Beyond just getting them back, what does that signal about how the world sees India's role in looking after this heritage now?
I think it signals growing trust. International trust in India's commitment and its ability to preserve its heritage responsibly. It's a global recognition that this is where these treasures belong, where they'll be honored and kept safe for everyone. And this collaborative spirit, it's going global too. There was a big project digitizing Buddhist manuscripts from Mongolia. Then the digital copies were returned, becoming a national treasure for Mongolia.
That's great.
Yeah. And these efforts are moving forward through things like the G20 Cultural Dialogue. India's signed agreements, MOUs, with universities in Thailand and Vietnam too, training scholars there to digitize ancient texts in languages like Pali, Lana, Cham, sharing the know-how.
That connects so well with that ancient Indian idea of Vidyadayan, the gift of knowledge. It feels timeless. We know, for example, the Chinese traveler Xuanzang took hundreds, over 650 manuscripts, from India back to China centuries ago. And even now, Indian manuscripts are preserved as national treasures in places like Japan's Huushi Monastery, kept since the 7th century. It shows this history of sharing knowledge. Focus slightly. How is Gyan Bharatam not just about looking back, but actively using this past to build, well, a better future?
Right. A really critical challenge Gyan Bharatam tackles head-on is preventing intellectual piracy. By digitizing these manuscripts, you create authentic, verifiable documentation of traditional knowledge. This is so important for stopping others from basically copying and patenting India's heritage. It helps curb that intellectual piracy, ensures the original sources are known globally, and secures India's ownership.
So it's protection.
Yeah.
But beyond that, does it open up new economic avenues?
Oh, huge ones. Think about the global cultural and creative industry, films, music, heritage tourism, digital art, all of it. It's valued at something like $2.5 trillion globally. That's enormous.
Wow.
Digitized manuscripts can directly feed into that whole value chain. They become this massive data bank, perfect for data-driven innovation, creating countless new tech opportunities, especially for young people. It's like a digital gold mine for entrepreneurs.
And technology must play a big role in actually understanding all this data too.
Absolutely pivotal. And that's where leveraging AI comes in. AI will be crucial for really deep analysis, for understanding these ancient texts. It can help find new formulas, say, in Vedic mathematics, even if we only have fragments of texts, by spotting patterns. AI can pull together scattered knowledge from different manuscripts, different sources, and it can help with tricky language issues, where one word might mean different things in different eras or contexts. AI can help decipher that. But it's important to stress the view is that AI is a powerful support system. It enhances human ability. It doesn't replace human talent. It helps us understand more faster.
That makes sense. It raises a question then, maybe for you listening. How can you get involved? How can people participate in this? It's really quite inspiring, actually, that apparently 70% of the people involved in this mission are young people. That feels like a very positive sign, doesn't it? Shows the next generation is really connecting with their heritage.
It really does. And ultimately, Gyan Bharatam ties deeply into that larger national spirit of Swadeshi and Atmanirbhar Bharat, a self-reliant India. The goal is to make India's amazing heritage synonymous with its capability, its future potential on the world stage, showing that true self-reliance also means valuing and using your own intellectual and cultural capital.
Well, this deep dive has really opened up the incredible scope of Gyan Bharatam. It weaves together India's past, present, and future in such a profound way. It might not be the kind of project that grabs flashy headlines every day, maybe, but its potential impacts, stretching over centuries potentially, for India and maybe for all of humanity, it feels undeniable. A quiet revolution, perhaps. So as you go about your day, here's something to maybe mull over. What hidden insights, what solutions to our modern problems, maybe solutions we desperately need, are still waiting inside these millions of digitized scrolls, spanning 80 languages, countless fields, just waiting there. What treasures are still buried? And maybe what role could you play in exploring that and bringing that ancient wisdom back into the light? We definitely encourage you to look deeper into this incredible heritage.